Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Bergen County Today. I'm Debbie Marcantonio with Christie's International Real Estate, and today I'll be featuring a very special guest from Emerson, New Jersey that I am so excited about. With a population of about 7,500 residents, the wonderful town of Emerson is located in the southernmost part of the Pascack Valley region in Bergen County, New Jersey. Emerson has so much to offer, including shopping, dining, and parks, as well as easy access to New York City via bus and a train station that's right in town. Emerson definitely has it all. But the best part of this beautiful town is actually the school system. If you're looking into various Bergen County schools, you will definitely want to check out Emerson. I promise you will be thrilled. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome the Superintendent of Schools for the Emerson Public School District, Dr. Brian Gatens. Hello, Dr. Gatens. I'm good. How are you? It's such a pleasure to have you join us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about our schools.
Amazing. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. Dr. Gatens, we work with a lot of families that are dual income households. Can you talk a little bit about your before and after care programs and how that helps working parents?
Sure. So if we have 3 schools in town, one is pre-K to 3, one is 4 to 6, the other 7 through 12. For our pre-K through 6 parents in those 2 separate schools, we work with the Rivervale Education Fund for before and after care. In a more traditional year, it goes from 7 a.m. to roughly 6:30, 7 p.m. at night. There's different tiered pricing for those families. In light of COVID-19 and demands of the schools, it's a bit shorter. The time frame is not as long, and that has more to do with parents working from home and things like that. But if you are a 2-worker family and if you need at-home care at-school care for your child, we certainly have that. And many of our families are double income earners, and many of our families do take advantage of it. It's very successful.
That's amazing. No, I personally use before and after care as well, and I am right next door in Rivervale and know how important it can be. That's amazing. So getting to know each child individually is so important these days. Can you go over what Emerson does to ensure that each child gets the attention that they deserve?
Sure. So the most important factor when it comes to Emerson is that we're a small town. We have, of our entire school district, we average less than 100 students per grade level, more like around 90 students per grade level. Small class sizes, average size is 19. And so the biggest factor that we have is by having smaller class sizes, our teachers get to know our students better. And on top of that, our schools are not that large overall, so they know the school administration, they know the support staff, heck, they know the school secretaries. And so we built a very strong relationship with all of our families over time. And so it's that personal connection that really gives our students the ability to both know adults and to be known by the adults. And then on top of that, our classes are more standard times. COVID-19 is impacting everything, but our classes are always built around collegiality, working together, small group work. And so our students really interact with a lot of their fellow classmates, as well as the teachers and all of our support staff.
Wow, that's amazing. So I love that Emerson offers baseball, basketball, cheerleading, but what would you say are some unique extracurricular activities that Emerson is known for?
Sure. So at our elementary level, we offer a variety of clubs that are teacher sponsored that are done after school. And we really allow the teachers to mix their own personal interests combined with student interest, right? So we could have a comic book club, one example. We had a teacher who was a runner. She had an outdoor fitness club and computer clubbing, coding. So whatever, if there's a marriage between the student's desire and then compared to the teacher's ability, we bring that together. At the high school level, we have a wide variety of clubs. The Key Club in terms of community service, autism awareness. We have a coding club. We have a robotics program. Once again, our small size, and I tend to talk about that a lot, our small size allows us to tailor the programs to the needs of the children. And we're very fortunate. We have an excellent staff. Our teachers are incredibly dedicated. They love their students, and they don't hesitate to work with them in clubs, after-school activities, things like that. Very, very rare is the child with a legitimate excitement feeling for something that gets turned away. Our staff is very, very, very dedicated to them, and works on having a really tailored experience for those students.
I love that. That's amazing. So as we know, every child is pretty much at their own pace.
Mhm.
What does Emerson do differently when it comes to sports programs?
Sure. So in larger school districts that tend to be much more competitive, children are forced at a very early age to get involved in travel programs, involved in a lot of different activities, with the understanding that when they get to the upper middle school, the younger high school levels, they're sort of funneled into a sport. Once again, by virtue of our size, which is, we tend to be on the smaller side, we don't have overloaded sports or activities. So students in theory could walk on. So if you're a sophomore student, if you're a boy or a girl, and if you have a growth spurt between freshman and sophomore year, our basketball coach would love to have you. Our track program is incredibly popular. I think our high school track program had, I'm going to say, well over 60 participants, very social, very active. And so one thing that we don't do here is, while from time to time we may have to have students not participate because of pure sizes, very rarely is the student turned away from an activity. Alongside that, because of our tailored approach to a student experience, in theory, you could be involved in a sport program and then simultaneously be involved in our select chorus, our theater program, our choir program. Our teachers work very, very closely with each other, and they work those schedules out together. One thing we never want to do here, and this is important for families to know and parents to know, is that we don't want to have there be logistical barriers to students taking part in things that they want to do. So rarely do we say to a child, you can't do that because you're doing this. We'll say, well, how can we work it out? Now, admittedly, we have had some, multi-sport athletes who've been involved in the school play in a reduced capacity, just because they can't dedicate all the time to the practice and all the time to the rehearsal. But nobody is turned away. Our big part of our goal here is we want to get to yes. And we never want to turn any of our students into a direction that they can't participate. We believe fully that our students are at their very, very best when they're involved with us and they're safe with us and they enjoy their school experiences. We don't want kids to be president of the 3 o'clock club. Stay after school, get involved in activities, get to know your teachers, get to know your classmates.
I love that. That's really amazing. And every child really is at their own pace. And I absolutely love that. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I can add to that too, if you want, is that we also recognize, and once again, important for families to know, is that children develop at their own speed and their own pace. And we are patient with the child who needs extra help and assistance. And we have an opportunity for the child who's ahead to do their own work also, whether it be academically, socially, emotionally. And so we call them guardrails. We have these guardrails in between where our children can operate, and we don't force them to be a certain kind of person because we realize that everybody grows at a different rate. And we're able to offer that to our students and their families just by virtue of our school structures.
It's fantastic. What a perk. Amazing. So I have to say, when I was in high school, I had no idea what I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how Emerson helps get creative juices flowing through the hands-on internship and senior bridge programs?
Sure. So we work with a fellow school district, Pascack Valley, and we offer a senior level internship for roughly 20 to 25 of our students. We've had students work in medical offices, fashion design. They've worked in retail. They're able to seek out their own internships. And so those are for seniors who are ready for a bit more of an after school experience. We stay away from the term real world because it makes it sound as if school's not the real world. And so we encourage our students to get involved in those internships. And we had one student who was part of her internship that she decided she was going to go to school part-time. She graduated high school, college part-time, work part-time. She's very, very successful now. And so the internships really work out well in giving our seniors access to authentic experiences outside of school. Alongside that, we have the Bergen Community College Early College Prep Program, where our seniors will have morning classes here, and then they'll head over to Bergen Community College in the afternoon, and they'll take up to 6 credits a semester. We've had students who between fall, winter term, and spring term have got a whole year's worth of their experience ahead of them. So that saves parents some money on the college side because of transferable credits. And so in our bridge program is we have a cohort of children who might not necessarily want to go off to college. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to force a young man or a young woman to take on the tens of thousands of dollars of cost to realize that college is not for them. So our bridge program is designed for students who may want to go directly into the trades. And they work with our teachers here, and they have internship experiences, and they'll get involved in examples of a non-college post-high school success, which we think is great because, you know, there are far too many children out there who graduating high school who think that college is the only option. And they go off and they go to a college that they feel they have to go. They'll take on tens of thousands of dollars of debt, and they'll realize that college is not for them. And they're done after their first year. They're getting into the trades, but they're sitting with a $30,000 debt over their head. So for those cohort of children, we have those experiences. And on the other side too, we have a wide variety of advanced placement courses. In our National Honor Society, we have children who go to some of the best colleges in the country. What we don't do in Emerson is we don't create a single metric in which to judge the success of our school district. We work extremely hard to make sure that we know our students well. They have a wide variety of options, and then they're able to choose the path that they want, recognizing that they could change the path as they go over time. And that's one thing we're really proud of, because one thing we would be doing a disservice to our students if we forced them to be a certain person at a certain time. And we don't do that to them. And families take great comfort in that because they know that their child is getting an experience that is tailored to their child, but it's not like a boutique experience. It's not designed just to get a child into an Ivy League school or to have them go off to a major university. It's recognizing that different children develop at different times. And as a result, we want him or her to have the opportunity to be who they are at that moment and to grow even further.
That's really incredible you say that, because I really, personally know many people that have gone off to college, accumulated a lot of debt, and are unhappy and end up not doing what they really want to do and end up going to trade school later in life after they already have their college degree and all that debt. So the fact that Emerson will actually have these programs available so the child could know exactly what it is they're getting into and experience some of these programs, that's so important, and it's super beneficial.
And I'll add just to that point, what we don't do is we don't pigeonhole a child early in their experience. And we don't say, because you did this in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, that you have to choose a certain path. Instead, we'll say to the students, here's a wide variety of experiences. Here's a lot of things to learn about. And where do you think you want to go? What do you want to be? And we involve the child and the family in the conversation. A common expression we use here very often is, school is done best when it's done with a student and not to a student.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily force our young men or our young women into a certain expectation. Now, ultimately, they're responsible for their work. We'll support them, we'll carry them, we'll help them, we'll counsel them, whatever they need. But they're going to make decisions regarding where they want to apply themselves. And we take that as many barriers as we can. We just won't do the work for them.
Okay, no, that's great. We want them to be happy and successful at the same time. Love that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know that Emerson has made significant investments to improve the aesthetics of all the schools. Can you tell us what improvements you're most excited about?
Sure. So several years ago, our public approved a roughly $14 million referendum project. And as a result of that, we added a full high school size gym onto our elementary school for use by our elementary students, but also by our local community, Boys and Girls Club, rec programs. Good to have another indoor facility. We added a whole other side onto that building. We built, I believe, 13 additional full-size classrooms, small group instruction rooms. Our pre-K to 2 building became a pre-K to 3 building, so we kept the children there. We solved overcrowding in our 4, 5, 6 building. We also built brand new science labs onto the high school, renovated classrooms, and then we had a 3 to 5 year plan to have the entire district climate controlled. Every classroom now has air conditioning units built in, no more hot summer days. And thank you to the understanding of the community and their support, we've completely revamped all 3 of our schools over time, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They were nice looking to begin with, and now we've really turned it up a notch.
Yeah, I've seen some of those pictures and they are stunning. Great job. Beautiful. Well, Dr. Gatens, you have definitely outlined some wonderful reasons for families to consider moving to Emerson. I would like to sincerely thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to answer some of my questions. If anyone has any particular questions about Emerson's school system, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to get the answers for you. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you join us next time for another episode of Bergen County Today, where we get to know residents, business owners, and local officials of Bergen County. Take care.
Thank you.